From Illinois Public Media News, this is 217 Today. I'm Kimberly Schofield. It's Thursday, September 12th. Coming up, we'll learn about a Midwest Newsroom investigation that found shipment delays have led to many birds dying in transit. That story in just a few minutes, but first, these headlines. South Shore Elementary School is at the top of the list of Decatur public schools in need of urgent repairs. As part of a 10-year safety report, BLDD Architects said the repairs to South Shore would cost nearly $60,000 and include removing loose tiles containing asbestos. Architect Kim Kurtenbach says many of the repairs have already begun.
When we first presented this information, probably at the beginning of the year, to Buildings and Grounds, they acted immediately in the meeting. And so I will say that what you're going to see on this list has probably already been taken care of. We just haven't gone back out to assess those.
Repairs and upgrades are categorized under urgent, required, and recommended. The cost for urgent repairs at all 15 schools is over $110,000. These need to be corrected as soon as possible, but no later than 1 year following the State Superintendent of Education's approval. Dennis Lab schools and Johns Hill Magnet School were not included in the report. DPS suddenly closed the Dennis Lab buildings last year after structural engineers found critical issues there. The problems hadn't been caught in regular state-required inspections. Former President Donald Trump debated Vice President Kamala Harris for the first time on Tuesday night. Megan Remmel is a professor of political science at Bradley University. She tells the 21st show the moderators did more fact-checking this time than moderators did during the Trump-Biden debate in June.
Just the sweeping statements that he makes generally lead him to a place where fact-checking is pretty necessary. So I think the moderators did an improved job. Obviously, there were the rules about shutting off the mics, and they didn't seem to enforce that so much when President Trump wanted to speak versus when Vice President Harris wanted to speak.
It's unclear whether Trump and Harris will debate again before the November election. Local public figure Dante Scott, who is also known as DJ Slim, will appear for his detention hearing today after pleading not guilty to 8 child pornography charges during his arraignment on Tuesday. Julia Reitz is the Champaign County State's attorney. She says the Illinois State Police got a Priority 1 tip about Scott on September 6th.
It was Priority 1, both because there actually were 15 tips altogether from different service providers, and because the information that the service providers sent to the center indicated that he appeared to be producing child pornography himself with an actual verifiable child.
Reed says each charge is punishable by up to 30 years in prison and can be served consecutively. Child pornography is a federal offense, and if the federal government decides to prosecute, the state will drop its charges. Scott remains in Champaign County Jail. Scott helped produce entertainment events for the city of Champaign this summer and was a former library employee. The city says it will not comment while the investigation is ongoing. The Illinois Supreme Court could determine whether someone is released from jail as they await trial, even though they were charged before the Safety Act took effect. Alex Degman reports.
DeMarco Watkins-Romaine is charged with attempted murder in a 2022 Chicago expressway shooting. His bond was set at $350,000, but cash bail is gone, so he's petitioning for pretrial release. James DeQuatro is Watkins-Romaine's attorney. He says the state took too long to file their petition to keep him in jail under the new conditions.
It is our contention that that petition was untimely and inappropriate under the circumstances.
Assistant Attorney General Jeremy Sawyer, however, says Watkins-Romaine didn't bring up timeliness in the circuit court, and the appellate court, which said he should be released, can't consider that. This is one of several Safety Act-related cases that the state's high court is considering this week. I'm Alex Degman.
Still to come, we'll learn about a Midwest Newsroom investigation that found shipment delays have led to many birds dying in transit. That story is coming up next on 217 Today. But first, meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your forecast for today.
I'm meteorologist Andrew Pritchard with your IPM News forecast for Champaign-Urbana. For today, look for partly cloudy skies with a high of 86 degrees and an east wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly cloudy with a low of 63 degrees, an east wind 10 miles per hour. Tomorrow, cloudy with a chance of showers and a high of 76 degrees, an east wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, mostly cloudy with a low of 64 degrees, an east wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. And for Saturday, Mostly cloudy with a chance of showers and a high of 81 degrees and a southeast wind 5 to 15 miles per hour.
Next time on the 21st show, Shawnee National Forest covers a broad swath of southern Illinois. It's long been the site of clashes between environmentalists and those who see it as a valuable source of lumber and other natural resources. The latest chapter in that fight has a group pushing to make it into a national park and climate preserve. I'm Brian Mackey. That's next time on the 21st show. Join us.
You're listening to 217 Today. I'm Kimberly Schofield. When someone wants to add chicks to their backyard farm or populate a larger operation, they often order from hatcheries. For the past 100 years, those hatcheries have used the U.S. Postal Service to ship live baby birds around the country. Increasingly, customers and suppliers say slow deliveries are causing birds to arrive dead. The Midwest Newsroom's Kayvon Mansouri investigates.
It's an early morning in July at the St. Charles County Fair in Missouri. No rides are running and frozen lemonade stands aren't open yet. But one corner of the fairground is very active. Children and teenagers are preparing their animals for the livestock show. Evie Golson's pride and joy is a white, broad-breasted turkey.
She's not too big, she's like just the right age, so she's able to still like walk around well and everything, and I can still pick her up. So it's perfect.
Showing animals in the 4-H competition at the county fair is a tradition for 18-year-old Evie and her family. But the path to this year's competition was a bit morbid.
Like, you have to see which ones are like stiff and which ones are still like floppy, sort of.
Evie's talking about the dead birds that arrived at the Golsons' home in the mail last March. The Golsons ordered 10 baby turkeys, or poults, from an Ohio hatchery. As Evie's mother, Amy Golson, tracked the shipment online, it quickly became clear something had gone wrong. She told us about it on the phone before we met at the fair.
So I was going to be able to watch these babies digitally. And they went to the Cleveland distribution warehouse, something, and they stayed there. They just stayed there.
Golson says she knew what to expect after the box labeled live birds showed up on her doorstep 3 days late.
Unfortunately, when I got home, we knew what the situation was. A silent box is a dead box.
This was the second time the Golsons got a shipment of birds through the Postal Service with most or all the birds inside dead. The turkey Evie is showing at the fair is part of a replacement batch sent by the hatchery. There are rules in place to make sure birds shipped by the U.S. Postal Service arrive alive. For one, shippers have to use Priority Mail Express or Priority Mail Services, which meet specific timing standards. In August 2020, more than 4,800 chicks died in a single Postal Service shipment to a Maine customer. The Midwest Newsroom interviewed hatcheries, breeders, and backyard farmers. Their stories all point to Postal Service delays and other mishaps causing birds to die in transit. Kelly Warren owns Cocktown Funky Orpingtons in North Carolina, where she breeds Orpington chickens, which are popular as showbirds. Warren estimates she's lost a third of the birds she shipped this year, sometimes leaving her to issue refunds.
The one box last week arrived 3 days late. The whole box was dead. All I could do was get my shipping costs back. The rest of it was out-of-pocket loss.
In a statement, the U.S. Postal Service said it has procedures for the safe shipment of live animals, and when properly packaged and labeled, live parcels get special handling. The Postal Service said it doesn't track the total number of animals that die while in transit, so it's hard to know how widespread the problem is. An interview request was declined. Postal Service delays have become more persistent in the years following the pandemic. In 2021, Postmaster General Louis DeJoy announced a 10-year plan to end billions of dollars a year in losses. Delivery slowdowns are central to the plan. The latest cost savings plan announced in August seeks to overhaul Postal Service logistics, a move DeJoy said could increase slowdowns in mail deliveries, especially in rural areas where deliveries could take an additional 12 to 24 hours.
It's a huge management problem.
That's Congressman Sam Graves of Missouri. He says complaints about mail delays are a top concern for his constituents in the northern third of the state, which is largely rural.
Other members of Congress all over the country are getting the same sort of complaints. So it is something that the government should do and should do well. And right now, it's not being done well at all.
Graves and two other lawmakers recently introduced the Pony Up Act. It would offer some consumer protections for mail delays. As for the practice of shipping baby birds, United Poultry Concerns and many other groups have called for the end of the long-standing tradition. For the Golsons, the replacement shipment of 10 baby turkeys included a blue ribbon winner. Amy Golson says the family's days of ordering birds through the mail may be coming to an end.
This is my daughter's last year showing in 4-H. We will definitely cut back when we don't have kids in 4-H.
For now, the Golsons' younger child doesn't plan to show, but Amy Golson says she's grateful the replacement shipment made it in time for Evie this year. For the Midwest Newsroom, I'm Kayvon Mansouri.
This story comes from the Midwest Newsroom, an investigative journalism collaboration with public radio stations in Nebraska, Iowa, Kansas, and Missouri. It's being distributed by Harvest Public Media. Harvest Public Media is a collaboration of public media newsrooms in the Midwest and Great Plains. That's it for today. 217 Today is produced by Stephanie Mosqueda. Reporting today contributed by Alex Degman, Anoliko Chuba, Kulsum Khan, May Antar, and Kayvon Mansouri. Music by the Kilbourne Alley Blues Band. Reginald Hardwick is our news director. I'm Kimberly Schofield. 217 Today is a production of Illinois Public Media. Thanks for listening, stay safe, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.